Katie. Well, you will always find the truth of the news of what's really going on in America. President Donald Trump's Advisory 1776 Commission on Monday released a public report fulfilling its task to revisit the nation's founding history in an effort to unite the Americans around its founders' principles. Americans today are deeply divided about the meaning of their country, its history, and how it should be governed according to the Commission, which was created in the final year of Trump's first term. Amid an increasingly popular trend of portraying the American story as one that is based on racism and oppression, quote, neither America nor any other nation has perfectly lived up to the universal truths of equality, liberty, justice, and government by consent, unquote, that the report read. Following a re-examination of the principles and ideas enshrined in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, quote, but no nation before America ever dared state those truths as the formal basis for its politics, and none has strived harder or done more to achieve them, unquote. The authors dedicated a large portion of the report exploring challenges to Americans' founding principles. Some of these historical, such as slavery, which is fundamental, incompatible with the idea that, quote, all men are created equal, unquote. Others are contemporary, such as progressivism, which holds that the Constitution should constantly evolve to secure evolving rights. Fascist and communist movements seeking a totalitarian government with no respect for individual rights, and more modern identity politics in favor of a system of explicit group privilege in the name of social justice. The arguments, tactics, and names of these movements have changed, and the multitude of the challenge has varied, yet they are all united by adherence to the same falsehood, that people do not have equal worth and equal rights, the report states. The report warns of the dangers of modern political movements departing from America's founding principles, noting that many of the historical movements were successful because they help us in those principles rather than breaking from them. Great reforms like abolition, women's suffrage, anti-communism, the civil rights movement, and the pro-life movement have often come forward that improve our dedication to the principles of the Declaration of Independence under the Constitution. The report calls for a national renewal of education to teach the future American citizens the founding principles and character necessary to live out those principles. A patriotic education, according to the authors, doesn't mean ignoring the faults in the nation's past, but rather viewing the history in a clear and wholesome manner with reverence and love. American colleges and universities are doing the exact opposite. The report warns, noting that they've become hotbeds of anti-Americanism, liberal, and censorship, with the intention to manipulate the opinions more than educate the minds. The author specifically called out an historian, Howard Zinn, and the Pulitzer Prize-winning 1619 Project for preventing students from seeing the humanity, goodness, and benevolence in America's historical figures. Instead, they present young readers with a distorted version of American history. Unacceptable. Historical revisionism that tramples honest scholarship and historical truth, shames by Americans by highlighting only the sins of their ancestors, and teaches claims of systematic racism that can only be eliminated by more discrimination. Is an ideology intended to manipulate the opinions more than educate the minds. The renewal of American unity will depend on every American willing to stand up against tyranny in their own everyday life. Above all, we must stand up to the petty tyrants in every sphere who demand that we speak only of America's sins while denying her greatness. At home, at school, at the workplace, in the world, it is the people and only the people who have the power to stand up for America and defend our way of life. We can stand proud of what our president and his administration accomplished despite the unfortunate fake news that continue to refuse to report key American news like you just heard. That's why you can always rely on Real News with Katie to bring you the truth of what's really going on from the White House and all across America. Subscribe now to get my latest report every Wednesday and Friday. And to support Real News, please hit that like button. May Jesus, our King and Savior, bless President Trump, your family, our enemies, and may God bless the United States of America. See y'all next time, right here.